Okay, so this is the second part of the same poem that was written by William Wordsworth in the year 1799. That was by the name of Lucy Gray, which is about this little girl. Not blither is the mountain row with many a wanton stroke. Her feet disperse the powdery snow that rises up like smoke. The storm came on before its time. She wandered up and down, and many a hill did Lucy climb, but never reached the town. The wretched parents all that night went shouting far and wide, but there was neither sound nor sight to serve them for a guide. At daybreak on a hill they stood that overlooked the moor, and thence they saw the bridge of wood a furlong from their door. And now they homeward turned and cried, in heaven we shall all meet, when in the snow the mother spied the print of Lucy's feet. Then downward from the steep hill's edge they tracked the footmarks small, and through the broken hawthorn edge and by the long stone wall. In these stanzas, we left over how her father was very upset that she was not taking the lantern, and she was debating and she was discussing that I think it's still light, why should I carry the lantern with me? On the way her father reacts, she takes the lantern and goes on to her work. And on that, William Wordsworth continues to say that not that she was very happy, or like she was just walking on the snowy mountains, and while she was walking on the snowy mountains there was this powdery snow, since the snow was at quite a good level. So when she was walking, the powdered snow was also coming along with her feet, along with the steps she was taking, so that rises up like smoke. And then he goes on saying the storm came on before its time, that even when it was predicted, for when it was predicted the storm came before when it was predicted. And she, the storm, since it is arriving before the time, before the predicted time, Lucy Gray is going to get very anxious. She will try as much as she can to climb up the hills, to climb up as much as she can, but she would not be able to. And because of which, the line goes that says, but never reached the town. That means that she could never reach the town, and that is definitely going to create a sense of tension in the parents of Lucy Gray, who are going to be very upset, and they're going to be very unhappy about not able to find their daughter. And from here the poetry turns on. From here the poetry gives us a sudden change poem, that now the parents were very unhappy, the parents were very sad. Of course Lucy's parents were very sad, and all that night they were shouting in these very horrors, very haunting, that they have lost their daughter, they cannot find their daughter. They were very remorse about it, they were very, very upset about it. But there was neither sound nor sight, nothing was there, no sign was there of Lucy Gray. She was missing all of a sudden, and they did not even have any kind of guide who would assist them to take them to a place where Lucy was going. At daybreak on a hill they stood that overlooked the moor, and thence they saw the bridge of wood a furlong from their door. So at there they were standing on that same moor where Lucy was once standing, and they could see as far as they could. And from 8 miles from their door they could see that bridge was there, a bridge of wood was there. And now they homeward turned and cried. Now they thought of, let's just go back, they've lost all the hopes of finding Lucy Gray again. They were crying, and they were very sad. And heaven, now one of the parents say that in heaven we all shall meet. Okay, let it be, maybe we have lost her. Okay, so now they are only hoping that maybe in heaven only we will meet, we will see our Lucy once again. When in the snow the mother spied the print of Lucy's feet. And now all of a sudden, when they were going back to their home, the mother saw Lucy's footprint. Then downward from the steep hill's edge they tracked the footmarks small. So the mother and the father, they started, marking the footprints, that where were they going. They started following it, they started moving along with it. And through the broken hawthorn hedge and by the long stone wall. So they just, they were going through this thorny bush with little white and red color flowers. And then on an open field they crossed this open field, and they were still following the marks that were still the same. And they tracked them on, never ever lost. That the marks were just going on, they were not losing the marks, they were just following them as much as they can. And to the bridge they came. So they came to that bridge which they were seeing from 8 miles far. They followed from the snowy bank the footmarks one by one. They started following those footprints over and over again. And in the middle of the plank, there was this heavy, thick wood log kept with the snow covered, and further there were none. So that was the last spot where they saw the footprints, and that was it. They did not find it ahead. So this part of the poem definitely gives an idea to us, to the readers, that now Lucy Gray was lost. Yet some maintain that to this day she is a living child. Now Wordsworth is saying that to him he still believes that she is still a living child, and she was not dead. She was just a child of nature, and he says that anyone might see Lucy Gray once again upon some of these lonesome fields in some moors. She would be there. Over rough and smooth she trips along and never looks behind, and sings a solitary song that whistles in the wind. So he says that maybe in some lonesome field, in some lonesome wild, he or some of us, or any of us, could see Lucy standing in the field. And she would not be looking behind her. She would again be this solitary child singing this solitary song and just whistling along in the wind. And that was it. That was the poem that William Wordsworth wrote about Lucy Gray.